Bam, 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 bam. We are live. What's going on? It's game day. We got a 4:30 game. And Justin, it's like I'm meeting you because this is the first time we've been joined together on a pregame show this season. Like we're about to hit the bye week, and this is the first time we've met each other.
Other way.
Nice
to meet you. Hi, my name's Justin.
Someone clip that.
Someone clip that. Hi, Bobby Skinner. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Let's rock and roll. Let's have a game day. Let's have a day. The next 2 weeks, I would like to go into it thinking, wow, the Giants are 7-1. We're on a 4-game winning streak. That's what it would be. 4 or 5?
5.
5. Whoa. We're on a 5-game winning streak, and we're one of the best teams in the NFL. There, I'll say it. Top 5 team in the NFL if the Giants win today.
And I don't know who the Eagles play today, but if the Eagles lose, like we are the number 1 seed in the NFL. Like I do a midseason mock draft video every year during the bye week. We're literally might have the 32nd pick in the midseason mock draft video, which is pretty like we've made those jokes every single year, and now it's like coming to fruition. So hit us with your questions. It's Giants game day. We got a 4:30 game today versus Seahawks versus Geno Smith. Seahawks team that's been playing well. The first place Seahawks. We all thought the Rams, the 49ers.
Yeah.
What's the other team out west with them?
Cardinals.
And the Cardinals, like those are the big dogs up in out west. Well, no, the Seahawks are in first place.
Only this game's the only matchup with 2 teams above 500 today. So
yeah, like we were the only like winning matchup in London ever, and now we are literally the only team.
Easy schedule. What?
Yeah. So, all right. Did you surprised by Metcalf playing? Yes. Absolutely. Like I thought he was a for sure out. It's supposed to be like 2 to 4 weeks. That is for sure out. And then Tyler Lockett showed up on the injury report, didn't practice. He's going to play today. I don't know how much DK is going to play though. Like I'm not exact. I don't think we're seeing 40, 50 snaps for DK Metcalf. I think we might see like 12.
I hope not, because I got mad. Like I genuinely got mad when I found out that he was playing because he does change the entire scope of the game. Just who you have to account for, and we were talking about this on the preview pod. A lot of the games that the Giants have played so far this year, they've had to hone in on like one specific thing. Even when they lost to Cooper Rush and the Cowboys, still the one thing that you kind of had to hone in on was the running game. Well, now it's not just the running game. You have Geno Smith, who, I think just statistically is the best quarterback that we've played so far. Obviously, Rodgers and Lamar are just better QBs, but statistically, Geno's playing at a higher level than any quarterback that we've played so far this year. And even in those games, you hone in on Rodgers, you hone in on that running game. That's not that much to hone in on. You hone in on Lamar, you hone in on Mark Andrews. There's a lot of different things that the Giants kind of have to just be aware of this week with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, and then also you have 2 legit tight ends that they can throw the ball to, and they do run a lot of 3 tight end sets.
Yeah, their tight ends are definitely a big part of what they do. Like that, they have to be one of the leaders in the league in 3 tight end sets and definitely in 2 tight end sets. Like I think they do 2 tight end sets over 50% of the time. And then but when you have DK and Lockett out there, it's like, okay, well, we're kind of set, and it obviously helps them run. They like to run outside the tackle. So, but yeah, I don't think we're going to see a full DK Metcalf slate. Like part of me is almost like, cool, they're going to put a hobbled DK Metcalf out there. But I almost like view that as like a distraction kind of thing. But I guess I don't know. I guess it's not too much of a distraction. Let's see. Is Cross going to give Kayvon any problems? If Kayvon is trying to beat him with speed consistently, yeah, because Cross has very quick feet. But I feel like you got to like really get into Charles Cross' chest. Like I don't know why guys don't do that. Like I think it's a huge issue with pass rushers just in the NFL. It's like use power. And Von Miller has been one of the best pass rushers in the NFL to kind of adapt to that. And I remember I did a breakdown on that Bills game versus the Rams and their defense. Yeah. And a big part of it was like, I think Von, like literally, like I always talk about like, veteran mentorship is a little overrated, but it was like, no, Von Miller is showing these guys, like just give a little stutter and then power. And it works. And it worked for us in that Rams game. So work that speed to power.
I know you were trying to make sure that you didn't say come in his chest.
No, I actually wasn't thinking about that, but that happens way too often
I
when
know.
you're talking about football. Like, there's just so many innuendos.
Come in his chest.
Let's see.
Coming to his chest, Kayvon.
With Ellerson Smith up, what does that mean? No Quincy Roche. I don't know what Ellerson Smith was activated from IR and Ben Bredesen was put on the IR.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. Ellerson's been the biggest question mark since he was drafted. Like, even when he was drafted, it's like, I don't know what to expect out. Like, this guy could be one of like a steal, or this guy could never play more than 10% of the snaps of the season kind of guy and be cut after 2 years. And then he's been injured, so we've never really gotten to see him play. Like, we've seen him play probably less than 100 reps in his NFL career. Haven't seen much preseason. We've basically seen no preseason of the guy.
And then
I don't think we've seen any preseason games of Ellerson Smith.
No, we have. It was this year, and he was bad against like second and third stringers.
Yeah,
especially against the run.
I don't have much on Ellerson. Quincy Roche, I like seeing out there. He's a good run defender.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, Bobby. If there was a week to use Quincy Roche, it was last week, right? Because the depth chart for the edge rushers was just so thin and so small. Quincy Roche saw 2 snaps. So I am really hoping that Ellerson Smith does not, I hope they keep that same rotation as last week, because it hasn't changed besides just adding Ellerson Smith to the active roster, right? Well, I guess he's already on the active roster, but he's hurt. They lifted him off of IR or whatever. But Ellerson Smith is very, very bad against the run. Like, we said that O'Shane was bad against the run in the preseason, and that was like a summer talking point. Well, that really hasn't, at least not like in my brain, it really hasn't come back to bite us in the ass this year. But I think Ellerson Smith is worse than O'Shane Ximines in the run game. So I really hope he's not out there a ton today against Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, he's an issue in the run game. Let's see. There's a good question here. Are you guys more worried about Walker gashing us in our weak run game, or Geno Smith to beat us through the air? I'm definitely more worried about Walker.
I agree.
Like, he creates big plays, and that has been the Giants' huge issue in their run game. It's stopping big plays outside the tackles, and they are great at that. And you just know the Seahawks are just like, we're going to get out. We're going to run this ball. We're going to run the ball outside the tackles in this game. We're going to put pressure on these linebackers. Now, the thing that gives me a little hope is the Seahawks don't run a ton of misdirection in their run game. That's a little bit of hope there, is that our linebackers are much better when they're not throwing all this misdirection at them. But also, the Seahawks have film too, and they see that the Giants' issue is misdirection in the run game.
Yeah.
So I would assume that they dial some misdirection up in this game. So yeah, definitely Kenneth Walker. I mean, he's been outstanding. He makes some bad. There's times where the thing that I like facing Kenneth Walker more than like Travis Etienne. Walker, though, he's very eager to bounce, and he'll bounce stuff that he shouldn't bounce. So that's like, okay, maybe we can create some negative plays in the run too, even though we're not going to be great.
He has not. I mean, Kenneth Walker, you're saying that he's bounced stuff, but formerly Doug with a complicated username. Now I think he's Doug _analytics. Doug made a graphic this week. I want to make sure that I'm remembering correctly, but I think Kenneth Walker is really, really good at. He has a very, very low stuffed rate, which stuff rate on next gen basically means you're not getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage, or you're not losing yards. So despite you saying that Kenneth Walker, he likes to bounce stuff and he likes to dance, the stats, and this is next gen stats, it's not like obscure stats. He does not get stuffed at or near the line of scrimmage often.
Let's see, what do we got? So we keep on answering Anthony's question, but he keeps getting shows Jihad Ward play more to stop the run and sacrifice the pass rush. Yeah. I mean, who else are we going to put in? It's not like we're taking Azeez Ojulari out for him. Like, Jihad Ward should just be the next guy in line. Like,
oh no, I'm sorry. Kenneth Walker has a very high stuffed run rate. I read that graph wrong.
Made me feel like I'm freaking insane.
No. So here, I'll literally show you the graph. I'm sorry, Doug. I read it. I should have DM'd it to myself, then I would have remembered. So there's Kenneth Walker. He's all the way stuffed. So it's weird how the graph is, since it's like over there, I would think that it's lower, but it's actually higher, and it's very high.
Look at this. This is why you trust your eyes, people. I'm sitting here and being like, I watch him, and he bounces stuff that he shouldn't bounce.
No, so you are right. I'm wrong. What else?
Is Cager good enough to transition to wide receiver? I don't know enough about him, but they transitioned him to tight end for a reason, so I would assume that he's not. But I am excited to see Lawrence Cager. I think he might be a better like receiving threat than Tanner Hudson.
Sure. Bring it on.
So I'm very excited, and Lawrence Cager likes us.
He does?
He likes John Boy Media.
Never knew
He follows me. He follows Talking Yankees. He's a Yankees fan.
Tough.
So I was actually trying to get him on the Chris Rose football show since he was on a tight end room with CJ Uzoma, but that didn't happen.
You're a company man. You tried.
Let's see.
You're a good employee.
I very much am. I'm an underrated employee. Nick, I got a Nick getting loud if I see a Nick Gates touchdown today. I am so excited for him to play jumbo tight end sets.
I'm getting loud when I see him go on the field.
Yeah.
I hope they do it the first play of the game. Do you think they're going to do that just because I think they should? Like, why not? If you're going to run the ball on 1st and 10 anyway, then put Nick Gates out there.
I don't know, but I know we're going to see Nick Gates today. His family, his brother said that like his whole family's showing up, so that's cool.
I'm going to tweet this out right now. I'm going to tweet out. I think we see Nick Gates on the field for the first play of today's game. And if I'm right, I deserve all the credit in the world.
I put out, I feel a Nick Gates touchdown coming, so that could be huge.
I think mine is a little bit more likely than yours.
I actually disagree.
Disagree.
Let's see. Wouldn't you all think a wide receiver room with KT Robinson, a true wide receiver one, would have been the way to go, even waiting till the offseason to sign number one? I don't want to spend too much time on Kadarius Tony, but the Tony stuff is not about just him as a football player. It's about injuries and behind the scenes shit.
A wide receiver room with Kadarius Tony is great, but the wide receiver room doesn't have Kadarius Tony. That's the issue.
I do, and I am like, dude, if he can stay healthy, like he's gonna ball in Kansas City. But I'm rooting for him, as annoying as he can be, especially on social media. I still am rooting for the guy.
The way that my brain works, by the way, and this is like when Odell left and everything like that. If you're big burp. If you're not a Giant, I kind of don't care. Like in terms of my like fandom rooting interest, unless I genuinely like you as a player, like Lamar I like and everything like that. But if you're not a Giant, it's like you're out of my mind.
Yeah.
I don't obsess over like other NFL players and
I don't either, but I just like whenever I'm watching a Chiefs game, I'm going to be rooting for
Yeah. I don't care. Like I'll be watching a Chiefs game and if he does something good, I'll be like cool, and if he doesn't do anything, then it's like, well, also cool. That's how my brain works as a fan.
Let's see. When do we see a passing touchdown out of the Wildcat? I hope we kind of are done with the Wildcat.
If DJ's throwing the ball like this, then stop doing that.
Yeah.
And he's not hurt.
DJ's a run threat as well too, so it's not like.
And if Jones is not hurt, then stop it.
We're not taking Chad Pennington out of the game to give us. We got a running QB.
Yeah. Well, this is actually. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is going to be the last time that we talk about this since the trade deadline. I think is this Monday, right, Bobby?
No, I think it might be the Monday NFL trade deadline.
I think it's this Monday.
No,
or it could be next Monday.
Dude, you're way off.
When is it?
November 1st. Oh, that is Monday. I'm thinking. So it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday at 4:00.
Tuesday. So this will be the last time.
This is the first year in 3 years that we didn't have a Monday Night Football game before the trade deadline.
Yes, we could talk about how somebody needs to get fired because we
last trade deadline move by the Giants. Do you remember? Trivia.
Acquiring or trading away?
Both.
Dude, can't even tell you acquiring. Well, Leonard.
The last two Giants trades that like trade deadline trades are guys that you have invested in.
Leonard Williams,
Marcus Golden.
Well, I'm saying acquiring Leonard Williams.
Yeah, but Golden,
and then Marcus Golden was trading away.
I think we either drafted Rodarius or Gary Brightwell with the Marcus Golden draft pick. And then the Jets drafted Ashton Davis.
Yeah.
With the Leonard Williams draft pick.
Yeah. Imagine Marcus Golden and Leonard Williams on the same team. That would have been fun. Thoughts on Brandon Cooks? Because apparently, there were some people actually doing good work yesterday that's like, well, Brandon Cooks' contract, they would only owe him $1 million for the rest of this year. But I think the issue is that I think you would owe him like $16 million next year. Now, out of all of the wide receivers, this even includes Jerry Jeudy.
$16 million is not a lot.
This even includes Jerry Jeudy. I'm like in on, if Brandon Cooks can happen, I'm in on Brandon Cooks, but I think they're asking for something that's too high. So what's your thought?
We know the Giants are not afraid of short wide receiver, or the Brian Dable and Joe Shane, like they love short wide receivers.
No. Yeah. Yes, they do.
So next year his cap number would be 26 mil.
Oh.
The year after it would be 24 mil with 8 in dead cap, so you could
Why
get
did
out
I see
of it.
16?
Huh?
So I saw like good people that I trust say like 16, not 26. Maybe I'm like on crack today. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean next year his cap number is 26.
Okay.
Which is still a lot, but you can also see the Giants like wanting to get a wide receiver. So yeah, if it's a long-term investment, I can see it happen. Goblins are real. I disagree, but trimming weeds for this year's harvest and listening to you dudes before the game. So excited for another Giants dub. Big fan. Keep it up. Thank you, my man. Let's see. What do you think the chances are that the Giants would trade for anyone before the deadline? I think they're very little. Like like the only way I can see it happening is like something like Brandon Cooks, like you said, and I don't see that happening. But it's being like, this is something we'd want to do in the offseason anyways. I don't see the Giants' record being like a big motivator for them to go and do something.
I mean, I think they are looking. I think they're looking more than I thought that they would, for sure. Like they've been, the rumors circulating of they're calling about Jerry Jeudy, they're calling about Brandon Cooks. But I think at these teams, it's not like the Giants can find a team like the Chiefs did with Kadarius Tony. Like there's not that guy out there that it's like, oh, let's just take a swing at him. Because really at this point, like the Chiefs don't need Kadarius Tony. It's kind of just like a luxury. Like if he works out, great. Then it's an added bonus to keep up with the Bills. If Kadarius Tony doesn't work out, all right, cool. Like we have already the horses that we need to maybe keep up with the Bills. So the Giants don't have those horses. So any move that they kind of make, they're going to be putting a lot of eggs in somebody's basket.
Rick Hugh, I know there's a lot of wide receiver talk, but could there be an inside linebacker target? I don't know, but that is like something that's funny. Is like inside linebacker is kind of weaker than wide receiver for the Giants right now. Like inside linebacker is like a huge problem, but it is what it is. Nick Young, this is actually good. Do you see the rule that you are allowed to hold if the defensive players uses a rip move? Yeah, that's kind of insane. Like if you do, so you do like the rip move is like this through. Like
yeah. Under.
You're basically like allowed to hold on that.
I mean, you're allowed to hold anyway between the breastplates. So where are we talking? Like we're allowed
it's
to
like
hold?
Just holding, like
even on the shoulder pads.
Yeah,
I need to see an example of this
holding rip move. Like some of the stuff that we're like Wise and Kadarius Tony being, or Kadarius Tony, Kayvon Thibodeau being hold.
Why aren't they calling him for holding penalties? I mean, I just can't see. I can't see it being legal, and I can't see it being right that you're allowed to wrap a guy around his neck, because that's what Kayvon was. He was getting wrapped around his neck against Jacksonville. That shouldn't be allowed.
Let's see. I'm about 32 times a game I find myself screaming at the TV that Cameron Wake is being held and the referees refuse. Let's see. Where is it? Come on. Now here's the explain why it isn't a hold. Blocking notes. When a defensive player is held by an offensive player during the following situations, offensive holding will not be called. If during a defensive charge, a defensive player uses a rip technique that puts an offensive player in position that they would normally be holding, that's not a hold.
Tough.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. It's like you're just allowed to hold on those.
Somebody said Cooks' contract next year is $18 million. I'm done.
The cap hit is 26 mil.
I'm done.
People don't know how to look at Spot Rack.
I'm done looking at these websites. I'm done. Because they're all wrong.
No, it's people don't know how to read it. They're not looking at the cap hit.
I guarantee you, somebody's wrong. So reputable people that I trust yesterday.
His base salary is 18 mil. His guaranteed salary is 18.
I'm done looking at those sites. I don't care anymore.
People don't know how to read them. It's just you got to know how to read them.
I'm not looking at it ever again because I feel like 50% of the time they're wrong anyway. I'm done. No Spot Rack, no over the cap. I'm done. I'm not doing it. Remember you told me a couple years ago, become a cap expert? Not. Because nobody else is? No.
Well, I'm forcing you to look at it now. 2023. Guaranteed salary, 18 mil. Cap number, 26 mil because you have the $8 million bonus. So it's just people don't know how to read it.
Make the Texans pay for it. How about
that? What the hell just happened? All right, we're back. What's the realistic chances that the Giants are going all the way to the Super Bowl? Very realistic. Where's the guy did you have like a Cade Nice or somebody guy come in here last week? We were really ripping him to shit.
I don't know.
Danny, a couple weeks ago.
I don't know. So somebody left a.
Where's the Landon Collins one? Find it.
Oh, it's Chris Peace, our guy Chris. Went to the Candlewick Diner with Chris.
Do you think Landon Collins has an expanded role today? I think it's the same as last week. I mean, he played like 15 or 20 snaps last week, a lot on the last drive of the game when they were in the dime. But I think I think it'll be the same, a similar role. But they do like to run 2 tight ends, so maybe they'll get a little heavier. But yeah, I expect him to play maybe even a little less than last week. Where last week he played, I think, 18 snaps in the game.
Are you still on the boat of you think they're going to run with more 3 safety sets this week?
Yeah, but in like the big nickel where Dane Belton's replacing Darnay Holmes. So it's still like a regular formation, but you're not running dime to run 3 safeties. You're just taking your nickel corner and Darnay Holmes off the field, which I think is good. Let's see.
Goblins are real.
Will the Giants drop back often, or will this look like the Chicago game? I think we're going to drop back. No, I don't think we're ever going to see the Chicago game again unless the personnel gets significantly worse. But I don't think going from Evan Neal to Tyree Phillips is like this huge. Like this isn't like going from. I don't know. I think we're going to run some drop back offense because we have to. You have to run drop back offense.
Yeah.
You can't just live on that the under center bootleg stuff. Like it's definitely going to be a huge part of this offense for the entire season, but you do have to get in. And I think through being forced to be put in those situations, like some 3rd and longs, I think the Giants are like, okay, we can run some more drop back, which they did. They ran a lot more of it last week for Jacksonville than they did the previous week. So,
and that's how the offense takes a step up. It goes from being an average offense that relies on, certain schematic elements to, hey, we can have players that do what they got to do. Daniel Jones drop back passing. You trust your offensive line and you trust your wide receivers to get open. So they need to continue to. I mean, we keep on saying they need to continue to introduce more of it, but at this rate, I feel like it's a cool and fine balance. Like last week,
last week is what we're looking for.
That first drive was awesome. They were able, I feel like, just drop back, and Darius Slayton winds up in a 30-yard touchdown, 32-yard touchdown, something like that. So.
Yeah, last week was kind of like like the ideal of like what we think this offense should look like consistently. Like obviously you do different things game to game depending on who you're playing, but last week's game plan was kind of like that's what we expect out of the offense. And if it weren't for drops, it probably would have been, they would have scored 30 points if Marcus Johnson doesn't drop a ball at the 1-yard line. If Richie James doesn't, if Marcus Johnson doesn't drop a pass on 1st and 20, if Richie James doesn't drop a pass on 3rd and 14, then we're in a different situation. We probably score 30 points. Does Cager play today? Not sure if it was already asked. Yes, I think he's going to play today. So I'm interested to see a new player who's going to be part of this offense.
Oh, here's actually a good question. Dog Analytics. I got your graphic wrong before. Can we refer to Thibodeau as KT now?
I guess so. That was a huge debate in the offseason, and Brian Dable settled it like Tony is KT. Kayvon is Tibbs. But no, actually, no. Kayvon is just Kayvon. Kayvon's a first name guy.
It's true. Two syllables.
He's Kayvon. We don't need to do the worst, the most simplistic nicknames in the world, which is just initials. Kayvon doesn't need that. We're not going to call LeBron James LJ. It's just LeBron. Kayvon is a first name type of guy.
Tibbs hasn't felt natural.
No.
I haven't said,
that's Tom
Tibbs.
Thibodeau.
Correct.
Tom Thibodeau is Tibbs. Let's see. Yeah, Jordan is MJ, but because you can't just call him Mike. I mean, some people do call him Michael, but you know how many Michaels there are in the world? How many Kayvons do you know in real life? Exactly. Kayvon's Kayvon.
One. I know one.
So it depends, Nasi. There's the science to this.
Science.
I was actually thinking about this week too. BD Corn Dog.
Nope.
Is it crazy to hope that Golladay could have some sort of resurgence in the second half of the season just because? When they were playing David Sills, I was like, that's when we were like, play Golladay. But now that Sills really isn't playing, I don't think so, man. Like, he just doesn't have the speed right now, and I just don't. I don't think he helps the offense. It's frustrating as it is. Because he wasn't like a bad player last year. Like, I think that we spent a lot of time on his player profile episode. Like, he was not a bad player last year.
His first 4 games last year, he was having like career numbers, especially in terms of like catch rate. And while we were saying the 20+ yard plays weren't there, what Kenny Golladay was very kind of consistent at was those 15 to 19 yard plays that an offense does need. I know I talk about the 20+ yard plays all the time, but offenses do need those 15 to 19 yard plays as well. And here's my question to you. Like, the route that he caught like 75%, if not 80% of his 10+ yard plays last year was the skinny post, the mini post. Yeah. Has he been running any of those this year?
We saw it in camp, but we didn't really see it in the games that he actually played.
Yeah, I feel like this.
But we did see a lot of it in camp, like especially in the red zone. They kind of run just post flat, and he actually got I distinctly remember him getting a touchdown on one of them in camp.
I feel like that's what he can do, and that's what last staff did with him, and that's really the only thing that worked. So
yeah, so
do that.
If you are, we also have seen Daniel Jones the past couple weeks be able to throw the fade pretty well. Not the fade when you line up at the 1 yard line. You can't do that, but like at the 15-yard line to Slayton. So maybe you get him out there for those type of things. But again, but Slayton's better at stacking beating the corner off press and stacking him, where Galladay's not. And I think that's where Jones has some issues. Ryan Dinlevy pointed out when he was talking to the wide receiver coach, Mike Groh, who just go watch Mike Groh interviews, by the way. It's kind of funny to see someone who just detests the media talk to the media. It's just something that's kind of endearing.
Kadarius Tony.
He reminded him that like Slayton's had like huge pass interference calls, like the one versus Chicago. That's the biggest play of the day, pass interference. The last week versus the Jaguars got them down to the 1 yard line before the QB sneak. And then what was the other one? I don't think there was one in the Packers game, was there? Or what was it? The Ravens game at the end of the game. Gave them 1st and goal at the 1 instead of not an interception, but whatever it was. Whatever the result of that play was going to be. So he's had some huge pass interference calls on him. And that's what Darius Slayton's speed is like the most valuable thing for this passing offense right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of just Daniel Jones playing well. Let's see. All right, we're almost at 30 minutes, so we're gonna we'll finish some last second questions. Rick Q. After last year, I would have been fine letting Julian Love walk once his contract was up. I would argue his play has stepped up to a level this year to earn an extension. Thoughts? I would have wanted to extend Love anyways. Now that number is going to be different because of he's starting now. But we said one of our things was like rosters need more Julian Love guys. Like Julian Love is an NFL success story, where he's able to, like, good teams have Julian Loves on their teams. Maybe not as prominent a role as he's in right now, but yeah, Julian Love has played well. I don't think he's played huge, like wildly above expectations.
No,
but he's done his job and he's done it well. So
yeah, I agree.
Like he's playing the box safety role for the most part. Like Jabril Peppers plays that role a lot better than him, but Love has done his job. All right, so we're gonna finish up. We will be live after the game on patreon.com/talkinggiants for our post-game pod. If not, yeah, Monday, it'll be out tomorrow at 8 a.m. Podcast apps earlier than that. Let's win some damn games. Mr. Brown's going to start. Let's win some games. Let's beat the Seahawks. So we appreciate you guys. We'll see you after the game. Let's win. Let's go Big Blue.